Hello guys, it's me again, your guy Pandora, and I'm here to bring you an honest opinion regarding on which gun is the best to me in Bloodstrike. So let's proceed. So for rank S, the criteria would be no recoil or less recoil, can be used in any situation, can be used in long range and short range and mid range, can be potentially wipe out an entire team if used properly. So, the first weapon that comes in my mind would be AR-97. Before, AR-97 is not commonly used by people because, remember, we're playing in a Shutter Island. It's a fast-paced game, and AR-97 is a burst-type weapon. However, most people manage to acquire or made their AR-97 level 50 and unlock the sniper magazine. Sniper magazine's cons would be only 30 bullets. However, per hit, you will hit the enemy 3 times. And if you manage to hit your enemy on the head, that would be 65 damage times 3. So that is already huge burst. It's like 2 hits on the head on gold armor and your enemy is dead. So that's why AR-97 is a must-use and it's a rank S weapon, which can also be used in close, mid-range, and long range. Remember to have a sniper magazine. So the next weapon that comes into my mind, especially on AR, would be Scar. So guys, why Scar? Actually, Scar and AK-47 is extremely in a tight spot. However, doing my tests, I believe that the nerf on AK-47's headshot damage multiplier managed to make the Scar a lot stronger. Scar is like AR-97 with automatic fire rate as compared to AR-97 which is burst. So, Scar is really good for short range and mid range and sometimes can be used for long range. The only downside would be the recoil. Still, Scar would be one of the best AR in the game. So, up next for S rank would be a secondary weapon that I think many people are using. So, that would be MP5. So, why MP5? MP5 is a very fast mobility, insane hip fire, and very strong damage, especially on the head. So it's like a Scar actually that has a decent damage, decent fire rate, and every overall category is extremely good. So another S rank that I think is really good right now would be P90. So, you guys might be wondering why I choose P90. P90 before was nerfed to the point that less people are using P90. But now, P90 has been reverted to its original state and it's equal to MP5. The only difference between P90 and MP5 is the damage and the fire rate. MP5 has a slower fire rate than P90, wherein P90's fire rate is something like 65 and the damage is 20. So, the time to kill for MP5 versus P90 is now actually or almost the same. So, making them extremely useful on short range and mid range. And the hip fire capability of P90 is a lot stronger than MP5. So, next gun that I think that should be on rank S would be M700. So guys, why do I think M700 is really on a rank S? Especially on Shutter Island, wherein the game is fast-paced, quick scoping has been very strong lately. quick scoping deals a lot of damage. Imagine of doing a one shot on your enemy on headshot and something like 150 on the body, and you can follow up with another shot. That's how strong M700 is. It is best combined with M700 is best combined with SMG because of the ability to hit your enemy from mid to long range, doing at least 1 to 4 shots at max. And having an SMG means that you can fight your enemy on short range to close range. I mean, close range to mid range. So, practically speaking, it is very, very suitable for any scenario. So, let's go over and hop for the rank A. So, for AR, or assault rifle, I think AK should take the A spot. There's a reason why I pretty much like the AK-47. AK-47 hits like a truck. Even with the nerf, it still hits like a truck, doing 30 damage on the body and doing 42 damage on the head. And AK-47 can be a substitute to a sniper because of the insane range, recoil control, and the damage. It is one of my favorite, especially before the nerf. So, another weapon that comes into my mind when it comes to A rank would be Origin. I know many of you guys hate Origin, especially people that comes with Origin. Origin, especially with the Dragon's Breath magazine, is extremely strong. It can shred your armor almost instantly. So, keep safe guys and stay away from people with Origin. So, the next weapon that comes into my mind when it comes to rank A would be Kala. So, guys, why Kala? Kala is a very, very strong sniper, especially on mid-range and long range. Despite having a very slow ADS, its bullet velocity is extremely fast, and the damage drop-off is not something like M700. It is the most commonly used weapon in Deserted Valley and can also be used in Shutter Island, especially if you're in a good spot. Having Termite on Kala means that if you miss your headshot, you can still burn a lot of your enemy's armor. Something like 180 damage to your enemy, including the Termite's damage. So, another weapon for me that should be on Class A would be bow. You might be asking guys, why bow? Why not other weapon? If you manage to land your bow's damage to the head, you can instantly kill a gold armor enemy in just one hit. Guys, that's OP. The problem with bow is the limited amount of ammo and the skill required that makes you hard to hit the enemy. But the advantage of having a bow is, first, you don't reload. You just spam the bow. But remember, be careful to spam the bow because your arrow is limited. Okay, so now let's proceed to rank B. On rank B, there's a lot of weapon that I think is pretty strong. First of all, I think CAG 6 should be on rank B. So guys, why CAG 6? And why I think CAG 6 should be on B instead of A? As we know, CAG 6 has a good attachment that can make you hit your enemy like a laser, even from a distance. The problem on CAG 6, despite on having a very fast fire rate, its fire rate is a little bit slower than P90, which is an SMG. And the damage of CAG6 is again little bit slower than P90. So if you guys will compare P90 versus CAG6 on close range, there's a lot of chance that if you fight somebody with P90 or somebody with MP5 using your CAG6, there's a huge chance that you will lose the fight. It's not because of the skill or the aim, it's because of the weapon. Because CAG6 has a lesser damage and a lesser fire rate compared to P90. P90 has something like 65 fire rate, while CAG6 only have 64, and the damage difference is 20 versus 18. CAG6 only has 18 damage. So that's why CAG6 should be placed on B spot despite having an insane accuracy and no recoil setup. So another gun that comes into my mind when we think of B class should be none other than the MP155. So guys, why MP155? Despite the nerf, MP155 is a shotgun that can still one-tap you if you're in blue armor or below. Properly having a good aim, it is still viable. However, don't use it on mid-range or more than 10 meters far from your enemy. Otherwise, you're shooting snowflakes, or somebody said shooting feathers. So it means just you're tickling your enemy. So don't use it for more than 10 meters. As much as possible, use it around 2 to 5 meters. That's the optimal range. So another weapon that comes into my mind when we say B list or B tier would be Deagle. So why Desert Eagle or Deagle? Deagle has a huge potential to become a strong weapon, especially with sniper scope. I know some of you people looted a ground loot with Deagle with the sniper scope, like a 2x or 3x or 4x scope. Deagle is a really strong weapon that hits 100 damage if you manage to land your shot. I prefer Deagle with a scope as compared to Deagle without scope because a lot of times the sync happens with Deagle. So it's a tricky weapon and should only be used if you're from revival flight. Other than that, avoid using Deagle. Or if you're just having fun, you can use it too. So another weapon on my B tier list would be Vector. So why Vector? Vector has a fast fire rate and it is really good weapon of choice, especially for close quarter combats because you can easily burst your enemy. However, if you're gonna compare Vector to MP5 or P90, there's a chance that you will lose the fight. But regardless, it depends on the aim. But for me, Vector would be on a B list. So another weapon that I think is really strong is none other than the double Glock or Akimbo Glock. It should be noted that Akimbo Glock's hipfire, if built properly, you can compare it to something like Vector or MP5. But the problem is you can only use it on hipfire, and it has a tons of magazine too. So it is really viable if you doesn't have weapon and you just came back from a revival flight and you just gotten your loadout from a loadout box. So remember to take your double Akimbo Glock. It's very useful for those situations. So another weapon that comes into my mind would be RPG. So guys, why RPG? RPG can two hits you if used properly. It is a really strong weapon that can shred your armor. But be mindful of using RPG as RPG is punishing if you miss your target or if you're using it in a invalid or not right situation. If people are rushing on you, don't use RPG, guys. You will die for sure. So let's proceed to rank C. So for rank C, I think the weapon that I will put here would be VSS. So there's a problem, guys, with VSS. So why do I think VSS is bad? VSS is actually strong in other games. But on Bloodstrike, the problem with VSS is the magazine size. The magazine size of 20 is not enough to kill somebody. Unless that guy just stand there and you did not miss any of your shots. So, even if with the proper attachment, VSS still fall short on the magazine side. It is a strong weapon, but the magazine makes it a lot weaker. So, another C-tier weapon would be URB. URB is a very, very high damage weapon comparable to MP5 headshot damage. However, it has a lot of recoil, which is hard to control, and the fire rate is extremely slow for an SMG. So that's make it tricky, and there's a lot of weapon that is better to be used. So for D rank, there's only 3 left. So let's pick the strongest weapon of the 3 first. So I think the strongest weapon of the 3 first would be Glock. How many of you guys have died on enemy from revival flight with the Glock? Let's be honest, a lot of us. So Glock is a very, very strong weapon. Not that strong, but it is a suitable revival flight weapon that is very, very situational. Especially when you don't have any other weapon. But remember Glock. Remember guys, Glock is a tricky weapon, especially on squad fight. Glock is a lot weaker than your melee weapon. Melee weapon is sometimes better to use than Glock. Because on melee weapon, you can 3-shots your enemy and the enemy is dead. While Glock is more than double of that. And remember, Glock cannot kill Emma that is using his maximum heal. And if you fight in squad fight an Emma with an axe or with any melee weapon while Emma is healing, you're probably gonna lose the fight. So another rank D weapon that I think is really, really weak should be, this is a close one, should be MP4. So guys, why do I think M4A1, not MP4, I'm sorry. Why do you guys think M4 is weak? The problem with M4 is lack of damage, lack of fire rate, and very long ADS time. Despite the buff and the level 50 attachment, M4 is still weaker than CAG6. So if CAG6 is in a middle tier without recoil, M4 has a recoil, slower ADS time, and slower damage. So the time to kill would be extremely long. And guys, don't use scope like 4x or more on MP4 because the ADS time is really, really slow. So last would be INP9. INP9 is good if you doesn't have any other choice. So aside from that, even if they buff the INP, they increase the damage, the bullet velocity, not the damage, still the same. It is a weapon that you should be using when you doesn't have any weapon at all and you're being surrounded. So that's my honest opinion, guys. So guys, what do you think about the weapon tier system? Comment down below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel and to this video. So that's it, guys. Thank you. That's it for today. Bye bye.